Welcome, guys, to How the Frack We Got Here, a show that takes the news and events of the week and try to make sense out of it all. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan, and on this show, we simply are all about the facts. There are plenty of news stations out there that simply want to do anything short but inform you. Here at How the Frack We Got Here, that's all we believe in. We go up to the left, we go up to the right, we go up to the middle of independence, we go after all sides because there's more than one side of a story to everything. And you need to know it all in order to actually formulate your own opinion. And that's what we try to do here at How the Frack We Got Here. Thanks for listening, and hold on. It's going to be fun.
The salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to take care of their family. The salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year, and over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to take care of their family.
I wish I could say that was AI. I wish. I really do wish I could say that was AI. But no, that is Speaker of the House, douchebag himself, Mike Johnson, literally saying, Congress cannot survive unless we game the system. Because for all those that don't know, there have been bills that are trying to put out, because we've said it here on the show before, there needs to be a wall between Wall Street and Congress. I'm not the only one that's saying it. Others have been saying it across other platforms, but we've been saying it. There needs to be a wall between Congress and Wall Street. Because again, if you are a politician, whether you're a representative or a senator, you have access to certain information that can influence the stock market. And if you have said information, you can use it to benefit yourself and make yourself wealthy. You ever heard the saying, there's no such thing as a broke politician? Well, it's because they game the system. I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say, but Will, aren't representatives and senators supposed to put all their things in a blind trust that they don't control, so therefore they won't be seen as gaming the system? Okay, I'll put it to you in this analogy, because you're trying to say, I am going to build a house. I am going to literally build a house, and I can't see the house. I can't go in the house. I can't do anything short. But I own the house. But I don't understand but I don't have the running of it. But I don't even have a key. But I know it's there. And as long as I provide what needs for that house to run, then that house is going to make me rich. See, that's the bullshit analogy they're going with. Because again, you could sit there and say it's been held in a third party. That's like currently right now Trump saying that I am not running Trump, or I am not running my Trump organization. We all know good and well in hell he is. He can sit there and say that his sons, Dumb and Dumber 2, are both running it, but we know it's him. And at the same time, Mike Johnson sits there and says that Congress cannot run on their current salary. Let me get this straight. For all those that don't know, Congress's current salary, and again, just to really point this out, $174,000 a year. Let's do. I'll tell you what, we'll do this in real time, because I want people to understand what this sumbitch is trying to say. And I know I completely missed the intro, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Today's date, May 20th, 2026. This is how the Frack We Got Here. I'm your host, Will Buchanan. You know what we're doing here. We're actually bringing the news exactly from reputable sources of award-winning journalism. And again, viewer discretion is advised. I just need to get that out the way because usually I do start with that intro. I didn't because I want to get into this. So let's just do a little experiment, shall we? Let's look up current salaries, and I'm just going to point this out here because again, we're doing this in real time. So current salaries of let's just say current salary of the U.S. Speaker of the House. Let's just throw some numbers out here. Current salary, right? So here you go. So we'll go by the AI overview. So currently, the Speaker of the House earns an annual salary of $223,500. House and Senate Majority Minority Leaders, $193,400. Regular House and Senate members, $174,000. Let me read that again. The Speaker of the House, the douchebag that was just talking, Mike Johnson, makes $223,500 a year. House and Senate Majority Minority Leaders make $193,400 a year. And regular House and Senate members make $174,000 a year. I just want to point that out because that's currently on Google. Literally 10 seconds have shown me that you can find out how much these people are all making. And again, not one politician, not one is making the minimum wage right now. What is the minimum wage right now? $7.25 an hour. And for all those that don't believe me, let's just go pull that up. We will pull that up right now. Again, $7.25 an hour. That has remained that way since 2009. Since 2009. For all those that want to know, since 2009, the minimum wage has literally been $7.25 an hour. Now, I know in some cities and states, they have raised their minimum wages. I do know in some areas it can be as high as $20 an hour. And I know if you're in the state of Tennessee, they will sit there and try to lowball you and still keep it $7.25 an hour. Now, keep in mind, for all those that don't know, the minimum wage is not designed to pay you crappy. The minimum wage was designed to, even at its lowest point, to allow a person to sustain themselves with food, clothing, housing, and transportation. That's what the minimum wage is designed for. Even at its lowest, that you are still able to sustain yourself. And let's also be honest at this point, nobody can get away with $7.25 an hour. And I've said on this podcast, to be kind of honest with you, currently, if we're going by inflation rates like that jackass just said, if we're going by inflation and raising prices, the minimum wage as it stands would be somewhere between $28 to $32 an hour, which again, it's almost still seen as poverty because that just tells you how bad things are. That I say every time on this podcast, everything goes up but your paycheck. But this pendejo, keep in mind, Congress doesn't work that many days. If you really want to be honest, Congress, and again, this is me pointing out the facts, Congress works less than 90 days. In 2025, Congress worked 88 days. Think about that. You had to work more days than Congress. Congress a year ago worked less than 90 days. 90 days they were in office. And at the same time, those wages I pointed out, that's what they're getting paid. So let's think about that for a second. If you really want to break down the math, 88 days, and let's see, 88 days, 24 hours in a day. I'm not trying to pull a Rayman right now, 88, 24. Let's just say it's a little over 2,000. I'm fairly certain it's over 2,000 hours. So with that being said, that would work out, and again, I'm just spitballing here, 2,000. So that would work out to, I want to say $81, $82 an hour, some give or take some change for 88 days of work. That's almost $2,000 a day. $2,000 a day. And again, if we're going by the federal minimum wage, mind you, $7.25 an hour, that's less than $16,000 a year. I think it's barely over $15,000 if I'm right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of doing the math in my head, but I want to say that's barely $15,000. That's barely $15K a year, a little over $15K a year, give or take. But that's not the only thing. And I want to point this out. That's not the only thing. Not only do they make really almost 10 times more than the average American by far, those salaries I pointed out, they stay with them. So if you are the Houseman, if you are the Speaker of the House, or you are Senate if you are a Senate or House minority or majority leader, or if you are a regular senator, if you're a regular Senate representative, you do understand, for all those that don't know, those salaries go with them. Those people literally get paid. And I want to point this out. They still get paid even after leaving office. They take the salaries with them. So if you think for 1 second we should feel sorry for them, I don't think we need to be feeling sorry for them at all. Why? Because they're trying to defend the need to game the system, to keep their money in Wall Street. If you have and again, it's insider trading. This is the reason why the SEC and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureaus, they got gutted, because the SEC, Security and Exchange Committee, Securities and Exchange Commissions, they are put in place to go after people like them. They're supposed to go after Wall Street. They're supposed to go after politicians that game the system. And since Trump came in office, he gutted the SEC. He gutted the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. He gutted them because these were the enforcement agencies that kept politicians from trying to pull this. At the same time, you got Mike Johnson, who is literally the poster boy for "I'm just going to kiss ass" club, and whoever ass is actually in front of me club, is trying to defend insider trading. They have families. Let me tell you something from a personal standpoint. Give me Mike Johnson's salary. Give me $223,000 a year, and think that I can't raise my. For the simple fact of the matter, there are people out there raising children on $50,000 a year or less. Imagine giving those families Mike Johnson's salary. Oh, there will be some lives changing. I do mean that wholeheartedly. But yes, it's a simple fact of the matter, guys, that leave it to Mike Johnson to come on there and say, well, just because we're going through things and we have families and mistresses and abortions that we need to pay for because we can't really tell you about them, that kind of shit. It is amazing that he's defending insider trading. And again, for a lot of people, they're not hiding this shit. The Republicans are not hiding how corrupted these people really are. They're not hiding it anymore. They're flat out telling you what they want to do, especially with Trump, which I'll get to momentarily. But I just want to get on Mike Johnson for a second, because he's literally sitting there saying, oh, we need insider trading because we need to feed our families. And it is amazing to me that I want to sit there and say, how is it that you can be Republican, still Republican, mind you, see that bullshit over there and still say, I support them? You got to be some kind of stupid. For again, politicians are like the Beyoncés of the internet. The Beehive will protect Beyonce. Beyonce has no idea who you are. In the same sense, like LeBron fans, you got LeBron fans putting in so much work, they should be getting W-2s for all the defending they're doing. And LeBron knows none of you. And yet, Republicans right now will still defend these idiots who are trying to finesse, fleece, and get as much money as the government as they can, while sitting there saying, we can't survive without screwing you over. And again, you can't make this shit up. But speaking of things you can't make this shit up with, we covered this story a few weeks back, and I hate to say it's about my home state of Tennessee, because it did happen in the backwards, progressive ass state of Tennessee, progressively backwards, I should say, because we covered a story about a guy who made about a official who made some creepy, cringy ass comments to a young woman on the same board as him, and instead of him losing his job, he got censored. Well, now he's being charged with simple assault.
You know that? Hey, where you go to school at?
I go Crockett.
All right.
New details tonight. The Washington County School Board member who called a student hot during a meeting last month is now facing charges. Keith Irvin is charged with assaults, accused of touching the student while he made those comments. Irvin has continued to maintain that he did nothing wrong, saying his comments were taken out of context. In a statement from the school district tonight, board chair Annette Buchanan says Irvin's actions were shocking and objectified and diminished a young woman. The district says Irvin's actions do not reflect the standards, policies, and values of the school district.
Honey has joined us to celebrate your special.
That moved a lot faster than I gave it credit for. So it's amazing. This is the guy that sat there and said, "Oh, you're pretty hot. You're pretty, you're god dang you're hot. What school you go to?" He said this. A grown-ass man said this to a child. And we sat there and said for the longest time, why, outside the fact that, I'm sorry, if I was on that board and he said that, I wouldn't be quiet. I'd probably be in jail for putting hands on him, because he felt bold enough to say that to a child, and everybody just sat there and was like, clutching pearls, didn't do anything. People wanted him gone. What did the school board do? They censored him. So now he is being charged with simple assault because he basically touched her. And it is amazing to me that it took that. It literally and figuratively took assault, not what he said, not what he did, but the fact that it had to go that far for things to be done. And I'm sorry, I will say it like this. That entire school board needs to be pulled. Because if you allow one of your own to say that to a student, a female student, and think that it's okay, that whole school board needs to go. But we'll follow that story because, again, he's being charged simple assault. We're going to see what they do at that point, because I'm going to be honest, I have zero faith in that school board if they didn't get rid of him the first time. But we'll see. So let's get to the crux of the situation, because I sat there and said that, you know what? The Republicans aren't hiding it anymore. They're not. They're not hiding their racism. They're not hiding their corruption. They're not hiding their hatred for black people. They are simply, figuratively, letting us know what they want to do. And currently, right now, you have the king of the idiots, Donald Trump, who sat there and made a deal, which a lot of people are scratching their heads over. But I want to play the video first before I explain it. So bear with me for a few minutes, guys. And yes, this really did happen.
President Trump and his taxes, and the extraordinary order now from the Justice Department, now barring the IRS from investigating President Trump, his sons, and their companies. It comes as the Trump administration also defends tonight the Justice Department's new fund, paid for by taxpayers, $1.8 billion, to compensate Trump allies, including some January 6 defendants. Here's Jonathan Carl.
Tonight, in an extraordinary move, the Justice Department declared the IRS is, quote, forever barred and precluded from auditing President Trump, his family, his oldest sons, and their companies, or pursuing any claims for past actions. It's part of the unprecedented settlement after President Trump dropped his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS. The deal was orchestrated by the head of the DOJ, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who is Trump's former personal attorney. Blanche faced tough questions on Capitol Hill today.
You're the president's consigliere.
Your perspective is completely wrong, Senator.
Well,
respectfully.
I think the facts will prove me right.
The president's settlement also creates a nearly $1.8 billion fund, taxpayer money, to pay for Trump allies or anyone else who claims they were mistreated by the Biden Justice Department. It's a group that includes the roughly 600 people charged with obstructing or assaulting police on January 6th.
Will individuals who assaulted Capitol Hill police officers be eligible for this fund?
Well, as it explained,
Will they
anybody
be just let me know if they're eligible for the fund.
anybody in this country is eligible to apply if they believe they were victim of weaponization.
At the White House, I followed up with Vice President J.D. Vance.
I assume you're not going to apply and you don't think you should get money out of this fund. Of course. So isn't it just as easy to say that people that attacked police officers should not get taxpayer money from this fund?
Well, look, John, we're not trying to give money to anybody who attacked a police officer. We're trying to we're trying to compensate people where the book was thrown at them. They were mistreated by the legal system. We do have people who were accused of attacking law enforcement officers. That doesn't mean that we're going to completely ignore some of the claims that they're going to make.
It's a very complex building. It comes as Republicans are trying to set aside another $1 billion in taxpayer money for President Trump's new ballroom. They say it's for security. The president taking reporters on a tour of the construction site today.
Being paid for out of pocket, but why is Congress been caught? Explain sort of the.
Well, they're not. The Congress is approving. Congress is approving money for security. It may go. Some of it may go here for additional security. I don't know.
Back to that $1.8 billion fund, some of which could go to people who attacked the Capitol building on January 6th. It's not just Democrats who don't like it. Senate Republican leader John Thune said today, quote, "I am not a big fan."
That's it. I'm not a big fan. Let's point something out. Let's point something out here, folks. For all those that don't remember, Trump did try to sue, did do a $10 million lawsuit against the IRS because of one IRS individual leaking his tax returns. That individual was found, tried, prosecuted, and jailed for his crimes. Apparently, that wasn't enough for Diaper Don. And again, went forward. But here's the problem. And again, I point this out because this is probably the biggest level of massive corruption on a government scale since Nixon. This makes Watergate look like a water park compared to what he's trying to do here. Because keep in mind with this kangaroo court, the IRS is led by a Trump appointee. His acting AG used to be his personal attorney. And at the same time, he's the one, the president is currently suing his own administration. So again, it was $10 million for the release of his tax returns. Now keep in mind, this is the same guy who kept saying throughout his entire presidential campaign, I will release my tax returns, but there's audits and all this other bullshit, other things that he kept saying. Of course, he was never going to release them. So one person, the IRS, sat there and said, bump it, I'll release them because you really should know how much this idiot has written off. And in my eyes, that man's a hero. He's jailed for it, but he's a hero nonetheless for doing that. At the same time, Trump sat there and said here's the problem with this for a lot of people who don't know. This was supposed to go to court. The judge looked at this and said, you got to explain where you got $10 billion from because your name wasn't hurt. At the same time, you said you were going to release tax returns. At the same time, you didn't lose any money. So he wanted depositions. The judge who looked at this case and said, I want depositions of this before we go to court. To where Trump and his attorney, Todd Blanche, literally did a 180 and said, you know what? We will sell this out of court. And his AG, keep in mind, acting AG, Todd Blanche has not even been seen as the official AG. He's the interim. He's the acting one. And he's the one sitting there saying, well, as the head of Department of Justice, the IRS is forever banned from auditing Trump and his family. Let me put it this way, folks. It takes an act of Congress. No AG can sit there and no AG. An attorney general has a lot of power. Do not get me wrong. But the power of the attorney general comes from enforcing the Constitution as it is. They can't turn around there and say, by decree, Trump and his family can no longer be audited by the IRS. Do you understand how dumb that sounds? Because, again, every American citizen, party included, we all, unfortunately, are dealing with the IRS. The IRS may be the bane of every American citizen's existence, but no American citizen, alive that is, cannot escape the IRS. You're basically saying, as the acting attorney general, that yes, I can turn around and say Trump and his family are now persona non grata with the IRS. You can't touch them. They're blacklisted. Bull and shit. And this is why this won't hold up. For example, anything dealing with the IRS takes an act of Congress. The AG does not have the power to do that. And it just needs to be, it needs to be said. It needs to be said. The attorney general of the United States cannot sit there and say, I ban the IRS from auditing one person or his family. It needs to be said. The AG doesn't have this power. But the fact that only so few Republicans are speaking up, every Democrat saying, oh, you don't have the ability to do that. I mean, constitutional scholars are all saying you don't have the ability to do that. And it's amazing to me that Trump, and I say this before, I'll say it again. It was never about getting the $10 billion. It was never about getting to, it was about getting money. Don't get me wrong. Trump is all about fleecing his flock and trying to enrich himself using the presidential seat. But it was never about the money. It was never about getting the money that way. Because, again, conflict of interest. It's already a conflict of interest. Because, again, he sued his own administration over tax returns when the case and the person have already been tried and punished. And now, because of him, because of his person at the IRS, because of his attorney general, and they're all in his circle, it's almost like watching Ocean's 11, except nobody there is memorable and the plot is horrible, because now they're trying to get a 1.8 billion taxpayer funded slush fund. And that's not the worst of it. The worst of it, as they said in the piece, was that this was supposed to be an anti-weaponization fund, meaning that anybody who was targeted or wronged by the Biden administration would be available for compensation. Oh, I can only imagine the commercials. Hello, Republican. Hello, MAGA friend. Hello, person who drank the Kool-Aid and still thinks that Trump is the smartest man on earth while your dumb ass is still sitting in a trailer wide picking your ass. Have you felt wronged by sleepy Joe Biden and his administration? Did your run on January 6th didn't go the way you planned in ways of freedom that you found yourself jailed and probably considered a pedophile? You are due for compensation. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're turning around and they're saying, let's compensate the terrorists. And I'm going to say it. Everybody on January 6th that rushed that Capitol, which again, after listening to Trump talking about stop the steal of the election, and they went to the Capitol, they wrecked everything. And now you have individuals who can possibly be compensated for this out of this $1.8 billion fund can be compensated for this. And it's amazing that they have to, and again, this is the kangaroo court we live in, because how do they prove it? How do you prove, above all else, that you were wronged by the Biden administration if they found you and convicted you of terrorist crimes? I really want to know. I really want to know, because how are you going to prove it? Because just like the reporter pointed out to that couch humper JD Vance, how do you prove someone who was innocent, was wronged by the previous administration, in order for you to award money out of this funds that you illegally gained? Because again, you have corruption in every level of that government to benefit one person. How? And again, it's where I stand and say Republicans are quiet. Not only are Republicans quiet, at the same time, they're not. It's so quiet you hear a pin drop. Except one. Maybe one Republican said, well, I'm not a fan. But you know why? Republicans won't speak up against their tyrant, because if they do, they're gone. We're seeing that in current state primaries right now. That unfortunately Trump-backed individuals that are running are winning. And again, like we said with the midterms can either make this country or break this country. And I said before, which we'll get into momentarily, Democrats need 2/3. Democrats need 2/3 majority in Congress to get anything done. And that's just being honest. In order to get past this bullshit slush fund, in order to get past this bullshit that Trump is going to basically award his voodoo boys, boogaloo boys, pretty much all those red pill incels, that's what they really are, that he's going to reward them. The only way you're going to counter that, outside of the fact that they will not hold up in court, they won't. Because again, you cannot sit there, wave a wand, and say to the IRS, you can no longer audit Trump. Because at that point, it's more than just an accusation. It's damn near a confession that man's crimes can be found. At the same time, the DOJ has a standing opinion not to indict or investigate a sitting president. It's an opinion, it's not law, but that's the reason why the office of the AG used to be non-political. It wasn't Democrat, it wasn't Republican, it was the top cop literally going after everybody, the president included, if they were found guilty. That's how it used to be. But now you pretty much have, and as the person said, you are the president's concierge. You are in the most opportunistic seat of power in Congress, because you are head of the DOJ. You can stop investigations into Trump, and you can start investigations wherever he chooses. Hence why Jerome Powell is leaving the Federal Reserve, and Trump couldn't be more happier, because now he gets his ballroom. He now gets that overblown ballroom because he believes, because of what happened at the Correspondence Center last month, that he's like, oh, it didn't have enough security. Yeah, okay. We know a staged event when we see one, and I'm sorry, after the third time, the joke gets old. But yes, the midterms coming up, Democrats need 2/3 majority to do anything, because that's the only way you're going to impeach a president. The Republicans are going to put their heads in the sand as usual, kissing Trump's ass. Democrats are going to do more. They're going to have to do more than just saying that we're going to move forward. And I said before, it's getting rid of the old guard. Definitely getting rid of the old guard. But here's another crazy thing that a lot of people didn't see, because again, Trump did a lot of shit this week. He signed an executive order that requires banks to take a closer look at the citizenship of their customers. The order directs bank regulators and government departments to look for signs that people without legal statuses are opening accounts or obtaining loans or credit cards. Are you effing kidding? I mean, literally. So now you realize, and I've said this before, when about the immigration crackdown, it was never about criminals. It was literally about how, and again, this is all Stephen Miller, that Nazi person that's leading the White House right now. This is all him. At the same time, so you're telling that banks and government departments, for bank regulators and government departments, look for signs people without legal status open accounts, obtain bank loan cards. Okay, so for all of us don't know, because this is useless. This is useless and a useless executive order. For anybody that's opened up a bank account before, if you haven't, welcome. Because here's the 101. In order to open a bank account, you have to have a few things. You have to have a driver's license or an ID. You have to have a social security card, a social security number, or an ITN number. Without either of those things, I don't care who you are. For a federally, for an FDIC insured bank, and because of the statuses we have with ID Protect, with identity issues and laws in the state, and not only in the state but also in this country, you have to have an ITN number or a social security number. You cannot open up a bank account without them anywhere. Let me stress that again. Without a social security number, without an ITN number, without a driver's license or an ID, without any form of identification, you will have a very, 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 very hard time finding a bank that will open up an account for you. So this is why I sit there and say, and I challenge anybody, you show me a bank out there that doesn't require those three things. Because even web banks, Ally Bank, I know there's another one I can't think of at the moment, but I use Ally Bank because Ally Bank's another one. Capital One is another one. It's going to come to me in a minute. There's like Web Bank or something like that. But what I'm getting at is they all require IDs and identification. So this whole thing that he's trying to do, well, we're gonna have the banks do our job. And I would like to say the banks will not do that. I would like to say that, but let's also be honest, probably won't happen. Why? Because, well, the banks do whatever. I mean, as the banks lobby Congress, some banks may come forward, but in the end, they're worried about the backlash. That's all. And again, I don't really understand that. I don't understand what backlash you're going to get from going against Trump, because he's obviously racist, obviously senile, dumb as a box of rocks, and dangerous because of the position that he's in. And I do mean dangerous. Why? Because he does dumb. Obviously he's going after people of color, and that's exactly what these Republicans are doing. And this is why I say, that's why I say specifically to Black people, you really should be paying attention to the current world of politics and what's going on in our society, because I know what we said about last year's election, that we tried our hardest. As Roland Martin said, we tried to warn you, we tried to tell you what was going to happen if you didn't listen to us. And lo and behold, everything that we said, Madam VP Harris, I wish Kamala Harris would come out. I wish if Kamala Harris, ma'am, former Madam VP, if you are coming out and running for president again, I hope your slogan is, bitch, I told you so. I hope that's your slogan, because you could coast off that alone. You can coast off that. Between you and Hillary, y'all both can sit there and say, did we not tell you what was going to happen with this man? Did we not say, were we not wrong in anything that he did so far? Because right now you got a girl feeling like Miss Cleo, as she's calling everything this man has done. But again, coming with the midterms, they are worried. Even more so, we've seen, as we said last week, redistricting is new Black. They are coming after Black seats. And it's amazing how folks are not catching that, especially for people in South Carolina. Why? Because not only have Republicans in South Carolina tried to vote for redistricting of maps and it failed. Well, they're trying again. This time it's the governor. This pendejo right here is literally calling a special session for redistricting the maps, redistricting South Carolina. Why? Because a very powerful Democrat, Representative James Clyburn, is from South Carolina. And they're trying to redistrict him. This idiot right here, Governor Henry McMaster, is trying. At first, he says, I'm not calling a special election. Then, a special session. Now, he is. And he's doing it before the midterms. And again, they want to get rid of Black voices in Congress, because that's Project 2021. For all those that don't know, that's Project 2021 right there. They are trying their hardest to get rid of people of color, and they have done that. In Texas, Representative Al Green, Representative Jasmine Crockett. In Tennessee, just recently, Justin Pearson and Pearson Jefferson, other people of color being pushed out, even to where they were removed from their committees. They were removed from their committees in less than 48 hours after the redistricting. So now you have Representative James Clyburn, a very well-known Democrat, an influencer in the political world, and they're trying to remove him through redistricting. I cannot stress this enough, folks. When it comes to what the Republicans are trying to do, they are trying to literally whitewash the board. They are trying to whitewash the board. They are trying to remove black voices from Congress, even to where the Black Caucus has sat there and said this redistricting could pretty much remove us. And now you'll have an all, and I hate to say it, and in the South, I wasn't the first person to say it, but it's the new Jim Crow. It's Jim Crow 2.0. Like, if you look at our current our redistricting, they don't represent us. A sea of white is all you see, and that doesn't help when you're looking like people like me. Hey, that rhyme. But in all seriousness, this redistricting is where the Republicans are trying everything that they can to ensure they have power. If you don't think that diaper Don in Pennsylvania ain't nervous about their midterms, he is. Because if the Democrats do this right, if the goal of the Democrats is 2/3, they can achieve it if done right. If you can sit there and point out the video where he sits there and says, "I'm not thinking about Americans," if you point out Mike Johnson's video where they're complaining that making $223,000 is not enough for him to live off, his family live off of, if you sit there and show videos of Republicans literally fleecing the same constituents they swore to be the voice and advocates for, Democrats may get their 2/3 in Congress. And if Democrats get 2/3 of Congress, Trump should be very nervous, because impeachment, there's no limit on impeachments. And he's already been impeached twice. Third time might be the freaking charm if Democrats do get 2/3 of Congress. But we'll see. But switching gears for a second, Spirit Airlines, because somehow they're still around in news-wise. Well, the employees have a bone to pick with the former airline, and I don't blame them.
And Spirit Airlines is facing a possible class action lawsuit from their former employees who allege that the airline violated federal labor laws when they shut down operations. According to court documents, Spirit informed the employees of the shutdown the day it happened. They allege they have not received their final paychecks and are also owed compensation for unused vacation and sick time. Spirit Airlines declined to comment on the litigation. So for more on this, I want to bring in our transportation reporter, Sam Sweeney, and ABC News legal contributor, Bernarda Villalona. And Sam, I want to start with you. What exactly are these former Spirit employees asking for here?
So typically when large companies do layoffs, they have to give warnings out. It's part of the WARN Act, and it happens usually 60 days before the people are laid off. But this was a unique case. Spirit was fighting for its life. They were trying to get a last-minute bailout from the federal government. That, of course, proved not to work out. They couldn't get any more money from the banks, and they had to shut down. And they told their employees, with just hours notice. And these employees are saying because they didn't get that 60-day warning, they want to be paid out for the next 60 days. They want their sick time, their vacation time, and they want medical benefits for that duration.
Well, and Bernarda, we learned that some of these employees are pushing for this to be a class action lawsuit. Why is that important here?
So because of the number of former employees, because as of now, it's only 6 people that have signed on to this class action lawsuit. So the claims are going to be similar. So there's always more power in numbers. So it'll be easier and much quicker for the courts to actually litigate all these claims if it's filed as a class action, and it's filed here in New York, actually in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court of the Southern District. So there's a lot of claimants here, but now it's on the plaintiff to actually gather these individuals to be able to sign up and agree to be part of this class action, and also have to go through the barriers of whether the court is going to agree and say that they are a legitimate class action lawsuit and can proceed.
Well, and Bernarda, as this plays out, I'm curious, for the former employees, do they have any other legal options to get paid as this case develops?
So they can actually file and try to see whether they can get unemployment compensation because they were laid off, as opposed to they were fired. They were actually laid off. So that's one of the options that they can seek that's more immediate to try to get them some assistance. But more importantly, what I'm concerned about is medical insurance. You don't know how many of these employees could have been suffering from some kind of ailment that requires immediate care. And we know that just going to the emergency room or just seeing a doctor, how expensive that can be.
Yeah. Okay. Bernarda, Sam, thank you both. And Spirit Airlines is facing.
Quiet you. So Yeah, it is amazing that for Spirit Airlines, that of course they did shut down. They shut down mid-service. They were like, "Hey, we're just going to shut down." And sorry, stranded. Excuse me, stranded people flying, stranded their workers. I don't blame them for. I don't blame the former employees doing a class action lawsuit, as they should, because they pretty much got screwed in the middle of service while executives got their bonuses. Still get their bonuses, still get the payouts. Sound familiar? And you think, and I hate to say it, this goes back to there's no such thing as corporate loyalty. These corporations will cut you in a heartbeat, shut down in the middle of the day, and then leave you the employer stuck while executives, CEOs take their money and run, literally and figuratively. So I say this to all former Spirit employees: sue them and get your money. I can't stress that enough, because we've seen what happens when employees do come together, unionizing and trying to get back what's fair. They're not asking for millions; they're just asking to live comfortably. I almost want to sit there and say, if only you gave us enough to serve, if only you gave us enough for us to be satisfied. I paraphrase it because I'm not going to say the exact phrase that old boy said, because I don't approve of his methods, but I understand. So again, with the redistricting, it's been said, of course, in the South, because in the South, football is a religion, especially in the South of Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, and Florida. Football is a religion. And with the redistricting, that means that a lot of Southern states are looking more Jim Crowish these days. So I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to bring this up. And the NAACP calls for Black student athletes to boycott Southern schools amid redistricting. Okay, this is a great idea in general. I say in theory. I almost say in theory, but I say in general, because I've said before and I say it again. It takes more. The only way you're going to affect actual change in this country is that you have to hit them where it hurts. You literally have to hit them in the wallets. You do. College sports is a multi-billion-dollar business. College sports makes more money than the NBA, NFL, and NHL combined. College football is a humongous business in itself. That being said, it's all, let's be honest, schools in the South have been powered by African Americans. And again, you look at Alabama, and I hate to say it, I'm a Crimson Tide fan. You look at Alabama, you look at Auburn, you look at Tennessee, you look at Kentucky, you look at North Carolina, South Carolina, you look at all these teams in the South. We represent a great majority of these teams, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, however. Imagine if all those colored athletes, and I say colored athletes because that's what they call them, but imagine us, African-American athletes, leave the South and either stick to HBCUs or Northern schools. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what will happen. If, and I do mean if, that ever happened, the SEC would crumble in a year. The SEC, arguably one of the biggest football conferences in our nation, would crumble in a year if all Black student athletes left and just stick to HBCUs or Northern schools, because the money goes with them. Because hey, if you don't have a winning sports team, you don't have boosters. You don't have boosters, you don't have money. Colleges will suffer because colleges have some bloated salaries for professors, some bloated salaries for coaching staff, some bloated salaries for facilities. And now that you have NIL deals in place, and that's why I said this is going to be the problem, because since student athletes are now getting NIL deals, and I will say it like this, I will say it from the other side, there are those student athletes who came up a little bit under the income poverty line. And as me and my friend used to sit there and say, you've had ramen all your life until you had steak. And when you've had steak and tasted steak, you don't want to go back to ramen. You don't want to go back to ramen now that you had steak. And those NIL deals would be the only reason why the NCAA calling a boycott may not happen as well as they think they do. Because trust me when I sit there and say these NIL deals, which I'm all for. Let me go and say that I am all for student athletes getting paid. You put your body on the line for 4 years, and all they can sit there and tell you is that, well, you're getting an education that you won't be able to enjoy because you're too busy trying to run all over campus, trying to get your workouts in, film studies in, workouts in, one or 2 a days in. Oh yeah, and somewhere in between you gotta go to class, eat, and get some sleep. Here's why I sit there and I say this, guys, that when it comes down to it, it's gonna be hard, and I say hard, for that boycott to actually happen when a lot of these kids are getting life-changing money. And I do mean life-changing, tax bracket changing money. So yes, as much of a boycott should happen, I just don't think it will happen because, again, it's hard to convince those who got an income tax bracket come up to sit there and say, hey, give this up and go somewhere else. You'd be hard pressed. I mean, it's a hard decision because nobody wants to go back to ramen once you've had steak. Just saying. But one thing we can say out of New York, outside of the fact that Mandani is just showing what a socialist mayor can do with given time, and that man is making runs by the day. This actually came out as well, where literally this was just ruled that federal agents can't make arrests in New York City immigration courts, ruling by a judge. Why this is not everywhere is baffling to me. Because we've seen it, we've shown it here on the show that ICE, the Gestapo ICE, will literally wait outside of an will literally wait out of an immigration court and try to detain immigrants who are trying to do things the right way, as they keep saying. They were going to immigration court. They would sit there and keep their asylum statuses. They would sit there and keep their meetings. And the right way, keep in mind, the right way, as these Republican idiots keep saying, the way you're entering our country, these immigrants are trying to do it, but you have ICE sitting right there in immigration court trying to pick them up. Well, thankfully in NYC, they said, no, you cannot make those arrests in those immigration courts anymore, which I'm sure Trump will probably have something to say about on his Truth Social. But at the same time, I'll give New York credit. I mean, I won't give the Knicks credit because I'm not a Knicks fan, but at the same time, they are really sitting there saying, no, we are not going to allow the Gestapo ICE to basically go after people who are trying to basically get naturalized or just trying to become citizens or just trying to get asylum the right way. It just makes no sense to go after them. And I, for one, am all for that. But again, expect Trump and Fox News to say something about New York because, again, Fox News is not a real news network. They are for entertainment. But the last story we got, guys, before we get to our feel good segment, China and EV vehicles. Look, gas is climbing, and it doesn't help that we're going into Memorial Day weekend and gas is high as shit. That being said, there is the talk of electric vehicles coming up again, and whether or not you want a Tesla or a Rivian or something else in the big three, there's one market that honestly may see some traction, and that market is China. Why? They seem to have a better idea of building electrical vehicles better than Ford and Chevy and everybody on the U.S. bloated side.
We're about to do something few Americans have ever done. Drive a Chinese electric vehicle.
What's so special about this? Why is the world going nuts over this car?
In the U.S., we say bang for the buck. This is probably as good as you can get in terms of bang for the buck.
Lei Xing is a Chinese-American podcaster and consultant covering the auto industry.
Is that massage?
Yes.
Right away, you notice the luxury and the features. This vehicle is from a company called BYD, Build Your Dream. China's dream is to use cars just like these to conquer the auto industry. The pitch is simple: a luxury vehicle with no sticker shock.
If you could buy this car in America, how much would it cost?
So $25,000 here, you add about $10,000, $35,000, still a pretty good deal.
And some BYD vehicles go even lower, less than $12,000.
You can't get this in the U.S. right now.
No.
There's no
Not
way.
yet. No. Well, not yet.
Right now, the U.S. is refusing to allow China in its driveway, slapping a 100% tariff on all Chinese EVs. Globally, though, the demand is surging. Experts say China is approaching nearly 70% of all EVs sold around the world.
Most Chinese automakers at home lose money. They look around the world, they say, we need oxygen. They see the United States as sort of a salvation.
On TikTok, videos featuring Chinese EVs rack up millions of views, hyping affordable tech to an American audience.
Whenever you're ready to leave, the car will just pull out on its own.
U.S. automakers and elected leaders argue China's EVs would cripple business and threaten national security.
There's always strings attached. What are those strings, and are we willing to forego potentially our freedoms in exchange for a cheaper product?
President Trump is even bringing Elon Musk to the summit in China. Tesla is in fierce competition with Chinese EVs. But the president is also sending mixed signals, increasing tariffs, but earlier this year saying he might welcome foreign auto investment if they build in America and hire Americans.
If they want to come in and build a plant and hire you and hire your friends and your neighbors, that's great. I love that. Let China come in.
Back in the car, the comfort and the price tag make the scale of this challenge clear. The question may no longer be if these cars are coming, but how much longer the American market can keep them at bay.
So if you really think about this, and again, electric vehicles are, as like I said, as gas is going up, because apparently Trump can't seem to stop making problems that he tries to solve and claim himself as a hero. But let's also be honest. EVs are eventually becoming more and more prevalent. And I find it funny that, again, China, who's always seemed to be a little bit more advanced than we are, has gotten the idea of how to build EV vehicles and make them more efficient and cheaper. But then again, that's always been China. China has always said we can make it more efficient and cheaper. Hence why you don't build smartphones in the US. They're built in China. Most integral components built overseas, probably in China. So with the fact of an EV, let's just say an EV that's under 12 grand, which, let's be honest, is more freaking affordable than your newest American car, which now used to be 35, used to be 40, now it's approaching 60 for a new car. That's not even an SUV or a truck. That is a four-door sedan where the average sticker price could be anywhere between $49,000 to $60,000. Right now, it's on the high side, and nobody can afford a $6,000 vehicle. And Teslas, oh hell no! I'm gonna be honest with you. Teslas to me are the worst EV vehicles out there because they've had issues of wrecks, issues of the driving AIs, having problems. At the same time, Tesla has had a history of just, ever since Elon has taken over, of just issue after issue after issue. So we're all asking, for a lot of people that are asking the question, why is it that China is banned? I'm going to tell you why. Because me being a car guy, there are a few vehicles that are overseas that if I ever got the chance, I would love to have. Unfortunately, I would be stuck with a 25-year rule. Now, what the 25-year rule is that for vehicles that are 25 years or older, you can import them into the U.S. and drive them. However, if they are recently new, you can't bring them into the U.S. because they're outlawed and now outlawed by tariffs. Why? Because many moons ago, the big three made a gentleman's agreement to lobby Congress and sit there and say, hey, they're making their cars better and cheaper than what we do here. If you allow them to sell their cars here, we will not lower our prices. That's pretty much it. And I can't stress that enough. Even Ford's CEO right now drives a BYD. He drives a Chinese BYD. Why? Because as he quote and says, I am trying to check out the competition because they're making it better and cheaper than us. Ladies and gentlemen, American US car companies are admitting we have basically sold you a bloated product. And because a cheaper, more efficient product is across the pond and could blow us out the water if Congress allows them to sell them here. So again, you have US car companies sitting there saying, we don't want to compete. Because if you allow overseas companies like BYD to come over and sell their cars to the American public, we might as well go ahead and say we're out of business. And here's what I say to that. It sounds like you don't want to compete because, again, explain to me, and I curiously, if you're in the comments, I want to know, or if you're a person that's on that side, I want to know, why is it that no US car company wants to compete? If you say you can build it better, as Trump and them keep bragging about, then do so. Because from what I understand, it's all about profits. Ford, Ford, Chevy, Stellantis, even my Dodge. I'm a Dodge person. I love Dodge vehicles. But let's also be honest. It's about profit. It's about the bloated US market that is the bloated US car market that we have. And the fact of the matter is, they're afraid that what China will do. Here's the thing. China will do to the car industry the same way Tesla was threatening to do it. And for all those guys to remember, Tesla doesn't have dealerships. Tesla doesn't have, and this was the argument that car companies were making about Tesla. Tesla did not have dealerships, did not have salespeople. It was direct to consumer, and they deliver your vehicle to you. They did not have quote unquote locations or showrooms. And you had car companies and dealerships complaining, oh, they don't got dealerships. They don't got this. How can we compete with that? They're selling directly to customers. Sound familiar? The same thing that they're doing with Chinese EVs. They're going to complain that they've made them better, they've made them more efficient, they've made them cheaper, and that we cannot compete unless we lower our prices, and we're not going to do that. So that's why they went whining to Congress, and Trump, being the fickle bitch that he is going to sit there and say, oh, no, I'm going to slap 100% tariff on it. But if you allow Americans to work on those vehicles here, we'll allow it. And that tells you everything you want to know, that above all else, it's always the greed versus the need. It's always greed versus need. And right now you have US car companies leaning on Congress to not allow Chinese sales over here. And again, I think it's bullshit, because if you're building a superior product, prove it. Outside of that, you're just using Congress because you have money to do so. Tell me I'm wrong. But that being said, guys, we are going to move on to our feel good segment, because usually on How the Frack Got Here, we usually cover a lot of things, doom and gloom. Sometimes you make many, but hey, it's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. We will leave you guys out in some good vibrations, and hopefully the next one will do just that. Again, we know Mother's Day was way back, but in this case, a true mother who literally opened her home to 300 plus foster kids got a hell of a surprise, and it's rightly earned.
Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time for our breakfast in bed surprise, and it is finally time to reveal where in the country Sam is right now, where the surprise is going to be happening. Well, Sam is joining us from the city of Smyrna in Metro Atlanta, Georgia. Are you ready for this, Sam?
Are you ready for this? All right, so we're in Smyrna, Georgia. We're outside of Rose Diggs' apartment. So her kids said this Mother's Day is not just for her family, but for the more than 300 children that she fostered as well. And this community wants to celebrate her because she's been working for kids in this community for a long time. So let's do it now. I'm nervous. I hope she's home. I don't know. Maybe she's not home. Rose? She's coming. Wait, she's coming. I don't think she heard us. Rose, hi. Rose, I'm Sam and Good Morning America, and you're live on TV right now. I don't want to make this any scarier than it is, but we do it every year. We do a Mother's Day breakfast in bed. And this year, you're the mother that we decided to surprise. How do you feel right now?
Surprise.
I could tell. It took me 5 minutes to get you to the door. Rose, okay, now don't do this to anyone else. If anyone else ever asks you these questions, please say no. But I'm going to blindfold you and take you to a car, and then we're going to take you to a place where everybody wants to show you that they love you. How do you feel about that moment? Okay, Rose. Here, let's put this blindfold on you. Yeah, your glasses on or glasses off. Here, you want it here. Here, I'll hold those. You do that. Okay. And just put it on. Yeah, just like a sleep mask. Okay, do you trust me?
I trust you.
Okay. But now if anyone else knocks on your door and tries to do this, Rose, you just say no. I've got your glasses, and we're going to go this way, all right? We've got a big surprise waiting for you. Are you ready for a step? Hold on to me. Step down. Okay. Step down. Okay, we're going to get in the car, and then we're going to zip to a whole place where you're not going to believe the surprises that are there. Guys, I know we were surprised by Rose, too. So we'll see you guys back in New York in just a minute, and then we've got a long way to go. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Come on, Rose. All right, another step down.
This is very exciting. This is real, guys.
I was
we were holding our breath.
She didn't answer.
Me too. We're holding our breath. But guess what?
Rose, hi. Rose, I'm Sam and Good Morning America, and you're live on TV right now. I don't want to make this any scarier than it is.
You know, well, that's just the beginning of our big breakfast in bed Friday morning. Well, just a few moments ago, you see Sam surprise Rose Diggs. And Sam, you have so much more planned for this Mother's Day extravaganza. What you got?
Michael, I do. We've got Rose right here. Rose, just trust me a little bit more. Come around the car right here. We want to thank the Smyrna Police Department because they rushed us here to this location. All right, let's cue the Atlanta Braves drum line. Rose, let's take this blindfold off and get this party started. Happy Mother's Day, Rose. I think you're going to recognize a whole lot of people. Walk this way with me. You look a little surprised. Take a look at the folks that are there. Of course, we can't do a breakfast in bed if we didn't have a bed. So we had to set all this up right here in the park for you. Look at that. The fire department's here. Some of your friends are here. The drum line's back there playing you out. This is your, Jennifer, your friend Jennifer. That's the reason we were able to surprise you. She was in on all this and kept you in the apartment this morning. But now, I need you to get in that bed right now and relax and just, right here, this is your spot. This is your throne. Get comfortable. All right? Are you comfortable? How are you?
Speechless.
Here, let me put another pillow back behind you so you can sit up a little bit. How's that? Is that better? So you're probably wondering right now, how did we find you? Well, we found you because your kids put the submission in. And I wish they could be here because I know they live so far away. But wait a minute. Didn't I just see them this morning? Tanya, Unique, aren't you here? Where are you right now? Aren't you? There they are. There's our first. And your brother's here. The family's here. Love you. How do you feel right now?
Oh my God. There are no words.
I think we'll warm you up a little bit as we reveal more surprises, but this is, we have another person who wants to say hello. Oh, you know what? Before we even do that, we already know how wonderful you are. We've been telling everybody this morning, not only your family, but the more than 300 kids that you decided to take in as your own and give them a start in life. The fact that you started your own nonprofit that is helping kids now.
Yes.
So I want America to see why we love you. Here's your story.
Just who is Rose Diggs?
I literally call her a supermom.
Magical. Out of this world.
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Enormously giving.
One of a kind.
She's special.
She's a CEO, a mom, and to over 300 foster kids, a lifeline.
Our anniversary is October 12th, 2016. And that is a special day because that is the day I went to her home because I was in foster care.
Diamond met her Granny Rose when she was just 13. At the time, she was a new mom to a 1-month-old baby boy.
Stir your pancakes. For me, what makes her magical is because I can call her whenever I need to, and seeing her make things happen is magical.
We exponentially multiply her and put her throughout the nation. I truly think that those efforts would overcome the need to even have a court system, because that's what a young person in those teenage years and those young years, they need that.
Today, Diamond is a college student with her own apartment, but her relationship with Miss Rose, well, it's as strong as ever and always just a phone call away.
Everywhere I go, that's my granny. She's just a beautiful sunflower. I don't know. She just blooms. Her aura, everything about her is mind-blowing. Like, she is a perfect figure to look up to.
Miss Rose's passion to help surprises no one really, least of all, her family.
She taught us to be dignified people and raised us to be that way. When dealing with these kids who are going through something, she is so aware of what small things can help them feel dignified despite the circumstances.
The place that they're at isn't just a temporary stop along their journey. Even if it is, it might only be a night, it might be a week, it might be a month, it might be several years. Children are made to feel important and given respect. She makes sure that they feel at home.
And her dedication to helping kids expands to her nonprofit, Down 7, Up 8, up and thriving now for a decade.
She's just always there for everybody, and it doesn't matter if she don't know or have it, she'll find a way to get it for you.
We surprised her with our Smyrna Citizen of the Year designation, and I can't think of anybody who has been more deserving over my time in office. Every community wants a Rose Diggs.
On this Mother's Day, what makes Miss Rose a one-of-a-kind isn't just the number of children that she's helped, but rather it's the way she makes those around her feel.
I love her, and I'm very proud of her. And thank God for a person like her on this earth.
She makes everyone feel accounted for, important, special, worthy. That's from the time you say hello. She'll greet you with a smile, a kind smile, and a warm heart.
I am so proud to be your daughter. I'm just so happy for you to experience this moment. I love you.
Surprise, Granny. Happy Mother's Day.
Surprise, big sister.
Happy Mother's Day, Miss Rose. My beautiful, wonderful Mother Rita. I am so proud of you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. We love you.
Happy Mother's Day!
And Diamond is here. We've got some Mother's Day flowers. You want to hand those to Miss Rose right there? How does it feel, Rose, to have everybody here just kind of collected to tell you that they adore you and they celebrate you?
Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that they think that I deserve this, because I'm telling you, they're all a beautiful people too, and I just want to share it. I'm glad I can share it with all of them. Oh, I'm just so happy.
We're happy for you, but there's still a lot more to come. We're not done surprising you yet. So there's a gentleman here. We saw him in the film. Mayor Derek, where are you? He wants to say something special to you. Right here? All right. What do you have to say?
Rose, Smyrna, Georgia is incredibly proud to call you one of our own. Your love has changed hundreds of lives, but your impact goes well beyond our city. But today we get to celebrate you right here at home. And it is my honor to proclaim May 8th, 2026 as Rose Diggs Day in the city of Smyrna. I love you.
I love you. He always gets me.
All right. Now, what does it feel like to have your very own special day?
Oh, man, I feel like I quit. Gosh, Lord. Whew.
All right, we'll get comfy because we're not done yet. We've got the bed, we've got the breakfast, we've got the family. Let's see, we've got the fire department, we've got half the city. We just had the mayor. Diamond's here. We got the drum line here. I think we're ready to get this started. Yeah, I said started because we've got that many more surprises to come. We'll be right back.
Oh, thank you.
now on GMA with our annual Breakfast in Bed. And we're going to go back to you, Sam, in Smyrna, Georgia. Our eyes are all tearing up here watching you and the lovely Rose Diggs, Sam.
Rebecca, this has been such a wonderful morning, and I got to tell you, it's because the hearts of the people that are all around us, and Rose's too. So, Rose, when we said the party was just getting started, we actually kind of meant it. We've got so many things going on here. Are you ready? Because we've got a lot of stuff to kind of present to you here.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna. If I've got so much here, I'm gonna have to read it, and we're gonna have to be an assembly line to get all this stuff through. And really, people want to celebrate you for the incredible work that you've done. First, Equifax Foundation is an Atlanta-based company so moved by your mission, so they're getting your nonprofit down 7, up 8, a grant, $20,000 to continue the great work using the financial future of kids in Atlanta and help them live their best lives. How's that so far?
I'm happy.
Okay. We'll do more, and then I'll check in you. We're not done yet. Straight Talk Wireless let's move that one along. Right. Straight Talk Wireless helps families keep connected. And this Mother's Day, we want to celebrate you with a well-deserved gift of $15,000. Let's move that along. We can't have breakfast in bed without a bed. And of course, our friends at Mattress Firm wanted to be a part of this as well. And they set the bed up for us, but that's not all. They're giving down 7, up 8, $15,000 toward Miss Dallas for grant writing services to support you and the grants for the organization. Because we know you have to write grants and we know how difficult that is. So that's what that is from Mattress Firm right there. All right, go ahead and pass those checks down. We got everybody down here. All right. So how are these things, do you think, going to help all of your plans with Down 7?
Oh my God, you just don't know the difference it will make. Oh, we can do so much more for the kids, all the things that I want to do for them. I'm trying not to cry. All the things that I want to do for them. This is such a blessing. I can't even begin to tell you how much of a blessing this is. And thank you so much to everybody who thinks it's of.
It's all right. Take your time. This is your morning. And I know you told me I'm not a crier.
I am not.
We must be doing something right because
You're getting me close.
Right,
You're getting me close. So.
Just so you know.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Thank you.
All right, so we know that you do a massive back-to-school prep for your kids as well, getting them ready for school. You want them to feel the dignity of who they are when they go into school.
Yes.
So we've got more friends that wanted to help you out right here. So Skechers, our friends at Skechers, are donating 300 pairs of shoes to make sure that feeling the dignity and power that they deserve, right?
Oh my God. It's so important for these kids because, if the kids can't afford some of the name brand things, they get kind of bullied in a sense. And this helps to make it so that they don't go through that.
Tell the people how important that is because
it is
absolutely right.
It is so important. I mean, it really affects the kids. Not only the fact that they're being kind of drawn as, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. The young people know how to say it. But however they say it, so they kind of make fun of the kids that can't afford to wear the brand name items. And I don't want anybody to have to go through being bullied because they don't have a certain name on them.
Well, you do so much for people, and of course you thought of them first, and all of these surprises were really a lot for the kids, but we've got a surprise to help you as well, right? So our friends at Verbo wanted to make sure that you have time to relax and spend some time with your family, so here they have right here. This is very important, though. They want you to choose anywhere you want to go from one of their 2026 vacation rentals of the year. This is their best of the best, and they're giving you $10,000 for a giveaway, so pack your bags, believe it or not, Rose. You and there's even you are about to have a great vacation finally, and there is a wonderful message from someone. I think you told us you were his #1 fan. He might be your #1 fan. Look right here.
What's up, Rose Diggs? How you doing? as my #1 fan, I do all that I can to show you how super you are. You have been an amazing, amazing AT alien. Man, the amazing woman you are to your family, kids, as well as so many young people in Atlanta. I wanted to do something real special just for you. So here's what I'm going to do. This November, I'm inviting you and a few to come see me on tour. That's right, 4 tickets just for you, Rose. Thank you so much for all that you do. Happy Mother's Day. Peace.
See, now we're getting to the fun stuff for you, Mom. Now we're getting to those things. All right. Rose, that's right. That was a special message from Usher himself and 4 tickets to his tour that kicks off June 26th.
Oh.
Rose, how's that so far?
Oh,
Unique, how are we doing? We doing okay?
Amazing. It has been such an incredible morning with breakfast in bed. We want to go back to Sam, who's got one more surprise in store. Hey, Sam.
We do. It's been a lot, Rachel. It's been a lot for this Mom. And we've got more. We've been having the time of our lives celebrating Rose Day. So let's get ready to party now. Rose, you ready?
Yes, I
You
am.
may have heard a little
Get
bit of
the
the music, but
party
let's hear
on.
more. Atlanta native, Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, by the way, as well. Carrie Hilson is here. Carrie Hilson, Pretty Girl Rap.
Happy Mother's Day, Rose. Are you ready to pretty go rock? My name is Carrie. I'm so very fly. Oh my, it's a little bit scary. Always wanna marry me. Getting in my tattoo. Hey, you can say, but if you touch it, I'm a pretty as a picture, sweeter than a picture. I kill the cuter in the girl that picture. I don't gotta talk about it, baby, you can see. But if you want, my name is, I'm so fly. Oh my, it's a little bit. Always wanna marry me. Getting in my tattoo. Hey, you can stare, but if you touch it, I'm a pretty as a sweeter than a back, cause I'm cuter than the girl that's see, I can talk about it cause I know that I'm pretty. And if you know it too, Miss Rose, sing it with me. Are you ready? Don't hate me cause I'm you. Don't hate me cause I'm you. My fault, the way I do. It's not my fault, don't please don't trip. Don't hate me cause I'm. Are you ready to pretty go rock? Hey, now do the pretty girl. Do the pretty girl. Hey, do the pretty girl. Yes.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you.
I've got your money from Rose, don't worry. All the mechanical stuff, we got to handle that.
Yes.
Carrie, I know this was so important, and you let us know that it was for you to be here and perform. So tell us a little bit about why.
Absolutely. You know, when one woman has impacted as many lives as she has, over 300, it is really, truly an honor to honor you. You are a mother to an entire community. Happy, happy, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
I'm
glad. I've been crying back there.
How are we doing so far? How are we
Oh,
feeling?
yeah, doing good. Real good.
Rose, when you woke up this morning, you know, before someone knocked on the door, put a blindfold on you, put you in the back of a car and drove you here, what did you think this day was going to be like? Anything like this?
Well, I kind of started out making me some juice or a smoothie. I couldn't decide. So I landed on the juice. So I juiced some fruit. And then I was like about to get my briefcase and head out with Jennifer. Where is Jennifer?
All part of it.
Right. And it was so important that I didn't even put my regular workout clothes on, even though I wasn't going to the gym.
Yeah,
You know, so
we've got more surprises for you, and you deserve them. We'll be right back.
thank you.
And again, I know that ran a little long, but look, that woman, when you fostered 300 plus kids, that's 300 kids that you've made, that's 300 lives that you impacted for the better, and they all remember you 300 plus foster kids. That's why I to let the thing play. She deserved that. She deserved, Miss Diggs, my apologies, deserves all the accolades and gifts and things of that nature because, again, even though it was Mother's Day, or you got to think 300 plus kids she's made positive impacts on and still going. So again, happy belated Mother's Day, even though Mother's Day is gone and we're almost on Father's Day. Actually, June, sometime in June. I forgot. I'm kind of brain dead right now about Father's Day. But again, Miss Diggs, want to show you your flower, want to give you your flowers to everybody else, and also to all those out there that do impact, really that do impact the lives of others. I cannot stress that enough. You guys, whether you're teachers, whether you're educators, whether you're foster mothers, whether, you know, regardless of where you are in life, the fact that if you are basically, if you are positively impacting the younger generation, you deserve to be honored and flowered. Just saying. But that's going to do it with this podcast, guys. Thank you all for watching, liking, for letting people know this is live. I certainly appreciate that. Shameless plugging before we do get out of here, guys. Shout out to APR TV. Why? Because How the Frack We Got Here can be seen on APR TV. It's an app that's on the Roku channel as well as Amazon. You definitely cannot miss it along with other shows out there. So definitely check out APR TV. You will not be disappointed. Also, BlurStation.com. I talked about BlurStation.com, guys, for a while now. It is launching very soon. Music, television, movies, anime, you name it, they got it. $10.99 a month for Blur Station. Blur Station can be streamed on all smart devices. And trust me, you're going to love what they have on the other side of that door. But definitely check out Blur Station. Also, check us out, How the Frack We Got Here on YouTube. Yes, if you literally type in How the Frack We Got Here on YouTube, we are the first thing that pops up. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So anytime that we do go live or a new show comes up, you will be able to see it. Also be able to see past episodes that we have up there, guys. Again, none of this can be done without you. For everybody that's been subscribing lately, and if you have subscribed in the past, thank you. If you are new to this channel, guys, please like, share, and subscribe, because the more of you that like, share, and subscribe, the more we actually get out there. So again, I appreciate every one of my subscribers that do this. I cannot say thank you enough. Also, check out Blurred's Eye View. Why? Because myself and others are a part of this podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. Blurred's Eye View on YouTube. Again, we cover everything in the world, from the world of blurs and nerds, whether it's pop, whether it's comics, whether it's anime or anything of that nature. You can definitely catch us there. Not only from the Blurred's Eye View page, you can also follow us all there separately. Roomful of Blurs, as she covers independent comics and things of that nature every Sunday. You can definitely follow her there. Geek by Heart, the husband and wife trio, to where Lainey is now back to playing back to streaming video games. She was just doing Age of Imprisonment. Of course, with her and her husband doing reviews of television and movies that are coming out. Definitely check them out. Tafara TV Gaming, Tafara TV's second gaming channel. He covers modern and retro games, and he does so from a treadmill. Impressive as all get out, because he is the originator of that. Of course, my other video game podcast, the Give It Podcast, every Friday at 8:30ish. You can definitely subscribe to us there. Of course, How the Frack Got Here, you're watching now. Navy Montel, BlurCon Speaks, he covers combos and top table gaming play as well. Shokwo, our looter shooter that covers games like Overwatch and Disney Lorcana. Lore the Culture, who usually covers comic books as well as things going on in Hollywood. And, of course, Tafara TV, his original channel. But you can definitely all follow us there from the Blurred's Eye View page. Again, like, share, and follow, guys. And again, we cannot do any of this support without you. Also, my personal social, Black_Spartan615, is also on the interwebs. You can like and follow me there. I usually talk to everybody, but don't make it weird. I don't want to get into the habit of blocking people. So I will say this, guys. Right now, times are tough for everybody. Please, please protect your mental. Have your outlets. Have your spaces. Take time out for you. And also give yourself some grace. Give yourself. I am one of the biggest proponents of that. You have to give yourselves grace and give those around you grace. It's a trying time for everybody. And right now, everybody just needs a little understanding. And sometimes just a little bit of peace. But yes, but again, mental is everything. Please take advantage of every service therapy out there that helps you actually find that mental stability, because again, what the mind does, the body follows. Also, I am saying this a lot now because I'm setting more being reminded of it. If you have a village, protect, water, and help your village. What I mean by village, guys, is that we used to have a village. We used to actually have a village mentality. As far as a group of people just having the same mindset of looking out for each other, taking care of each other, supporting each other, whatever we can do, because again, a rising tide lifts all boats. I think that's how the saying goes. I might have screwed that up, but what I'm getting at is, if done correctly, everybody at the table eats, not one person just eating a big plate and everybody's watching them. So if you are lucky enough to have a village of your own, to where you guys are thriving, make sure to check on them. That's why I say check on your friends, call or text. That's the village. So please check on your village. Take care of your village, because you never know, somebody in your village might need that help, and you need to. And again, with the village there's nothing you can't overcome. Also, guys, again, I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you're taking care of you. Make sure you are taking care of you. I know what's going on in the political world right now is scary. I also know that, we're not really seeing the upside of this, and that, we're waiting on 6 months from now for something to change what's going on that pretty much will hopefully turn our country in the right direction. But guys, step away from the doom scrolling for a second. Put down the phone. Go inside, go outside, enjoy the weather. I know right now it might be a little difficult because if you're in the South, we're getting rained on. Although we did have some heat for a while, but if you can, enjoy the world as it is. Check out some friends, eat some good food. Memorial Day is coming around the corner, so eat some good barbecue if that's what you want. But again, take that time out for yourself, as well as giving yourself that grace. Everything is, and I stress this very heavily, not to quote Bob Marley or paraphrase, everything's going to be all right. The last thing I'll say about how the Frack We Got Here, it's all about staying informed. We are not trying to reinvent the wheel, guys. We're simply giving you all the information light and make up your own mind. But we do provide a positive, logical perspective that goes along with it. We do better in society once we're informed. We're progressive. We're aggressive. We move forward by righting the wrongs of our past, but making decisions now that we should have done back then. Like electing our first Black woman Supreme Court, electing our first Black woman to be a Federal Reserve governor, maybe one day electing our first Black woman to be called Madam President. All great things. When we don't learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it. That's what we keep asking ourselves. Why does everything go about our paycheck? Literally. Why are we electing different politicians, but still the same old game in Congress? And most importantly, how the Frack We Got Here. Thank you all for watching, guys. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and I promise we'll get through this. Live long and prosper, guys. And remember, give yourself some grace. Peace.